As you guys know, Hollywood has been in a bit of a slump over the last, 15, 20 years, and things aren't going to get any better for them anytime soon. With the actors' strike finished up and the writers' strike finished up, we're now getting back to work in the industry. They're getting back to work in the industry. The problem is, first of all, lots of jobs are drying up. There was multiple articles last week talking about how all of this work has dried up. There are no more pilots being ordered. There was all of 3 this year. And now Tyler Perry has put a halt on his $800 million studio expansion because he took one look at what Sora AI could do and he's like, we can do it for cheaper, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just so funny that we're starting this topic about how AI is about to topple Hollywood, and we just talked about the Willy Wonka entertainment AI scam. Maybe it's not as threatening as we think, but Tyler Perry does think it is, and
by the way,
he's trying to warn his colleagues about it.
What's funny is he plays both sides here because he absolutely does the evil CEO thing and puts the halt on the expansion, but then also says, but it's a problem. So it says, over the past 4 years, Tyler Perry has been planning an $800 million expansion to his studio in Atlanta, which would be adding 12 sound stages to its 330-acre property. Now, however, those ambitions are on hold thanks to the rapid developments he's seeing in the realm of artificial intelligence, including OpenAI's text-to-video model, Sora, which we just saw the debut of last week. We were just talking about it. This is his quote. He says, being told that it can do all of these things is one thing, but actually seeing the capabilities, it was mind-blowing, he said in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter on Thursday, noting that his productions might not have to travel to locations or build sets with the assistance of the technology. Here's the problem, guys. It takes people to build those sets. It takes people to fly to other places and film on location. But if all you have to do is hire a couple of people who are experts in AI generation to prompt things, you're going to see a lot of people out of work. Now you see why it probably is true that as much as the actors and the writers feel like they came out of the strike winning, they didn't really win on AI the way they thought they were going to. If he's already putting a halt on it, I feel like if they had actually won on AI, he wouldn't even dare announce a halt on an $800 million expansion to his studio for AI reasons.
Right, and you say he's playing both sides because he's still framing this as why he wants the industry to come together to tackle AI. And he's saying that we need to put regulations on AI in order to protect the industry. If not, I don't see how we survive. And he said, what would be the consequences if Sora actually is capable of toppling Hollywood? He said, I would no longer have to travel to locations. If I wanted to be in the snow in Colorado, it's text. If I wanted to write a scene on the moon, it's text. And this AI can generate it like nothing. And then you don't have to build sets. You can put someone in a living room in the mountains. I don't have to build a set in the mountains. I don't have to put a set on my lot. I can sit in an office and do this with a computer, which is shocking to me.
I hate this. And I'll tell you why. Because going into actual sets, first of all, I don't care what anyone says. It is 1,000 times easier to act when you're acting an opposite an actual person. And I really do believe now people are so in tune to these things that they notice, right? I always use the example of The Creator, which is to me the best example of, like, they at the very least for all the CGI in the movie went to physical locations and filmed on locations so that it all looked like it fit together more naturally. But the problem is like, if there's no actual establishing shot, that's one thing. But if he's talking about actually putting an actor in like a completely faked scene that's not even, actually made by AI artists, it's going to get even more hokey and unrealistic really, really fast.
Being an actor himself, you would think that he would understand that and how it would affect the outcome. But look, if AI is capable of making all of these complex sets and establishing shots and costumes, why can't you just replace the actors altogether? Right?
They'll never be able to get rid of the actors. Background actors are absolutely at risk. Right?
Yeah, I would think that the AI protections that they won from the SAG strike, they were only meant to protect those who are at the top of the industry, who really are the least threatened by it.
Yep.
But if you get the rights to someone's likeness and to their voice, you can AI generate Pedro Pascal on the moon.
Well, that's a
why do you need Pedro Pascal?
Because they still have to pay him anyways. if you're using his likeness. So yes, why not get the actual actor? But this says, are you currently implementing any AI in your productions, or do you have any plans to do so in the future? It says, I just used AI in 2 films that are going to be announced soon that kept me out of makeup for hours. Here's the problem. It's awesome when you use prosthetics and makeup in films and television, right? One of the things I hate more than anything is CGI blood and CGI gun in gunshots, right? When they actually use squibs, where they actually have the actor with the squib on them, or the bullet shots that go just over their head and they actually hit something, right? I love that, and it feels more immersive. When I see CGI blood, especially nowadays, people are watching these things on much better televisions than they were 20 years ago. I'm going through and rewatching so many old shows on like a nicer TV than I did when I was younger, and there's so much more I notice now that I just never did when I was watching on a lower resolution monitor. But the ability to buy a high resolution TV in a very, like a 50, 60, 70, 80 inch TV now, it's so cost effective that more and more we're going to be seeing people watching things on stuff like that. Not computer monitors, not even 30 inch TVs. You're going to be watching things on things that are much bigger, and it's going to be more noticeable. So when you actually use makeup and squibs and do in-camera live action effects, people appreciate it, and it actually, I think, attaches people more readily to your product.
Well, maybe AI isn't at the point where it can perfectly imitate the real thing, but with the speed at which it's advancing right now, would you still say the same thing if it were able to create the same visual results?
I don't think that's possible.
You don't think it's possible? Because, I mean, a lot of people, even a couple of years ago, would say what Sora is capable of now. Okay, that's impossible.
Down the line, sure, but I still think there's
hypothetically, though.
There's always going to be uncanny valley. Always. I really do believe that. I think that our brains are we're just too, the brain is too complex to be able to just completely fool us on everything. Now, if you want to talk about looking at it on your phone, you might be able to fool people. But if you're watching it on a movie screen, maybe 20, 30 years down the line, but I don't think that's coming anytime soon. But they need to start planning now.
Mm-hmm.
They need to start planning now.
All of the video examples that they had for Sora, which is not available to the public yet, they were all in slow-mo with super high frame rate.
And somebody pointed out the walking on the girl in Tokyo was off, the legs interchanged. People will aren't going to look closely the first time, but if you want to make actual products now, this might run contrary to what Hollywood is actually doing, which is they don't make stuff that's designed to be watched more than once. I really do feel that way. Nothing is designed to have any amount of rewatchability. Mm-hmm. So maybe if you watch it once, you won't notice that. But if it's a movie you really love, it's a movie that stands the test of time, and you want to rewatch it over and over again, you're going to start noticing those things. One of my favorite things to do is go back, and I've watched movies so many times that I notice the hair on the extras and when somebody's acting off in the background, because I'm immersed in the story, but I've watched it so many times that I learned to love other aspects of it. One of the big examples I always give is there's this scene in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when they're on the roof where Shredder, the turtles are all in a circle after getting their asses kicked, and Shredder just turns his back on them, and it's just such a sign of disdain for the people whose asses he just kicked. And I look at that, you're not supposed to notice that the first time you watch it, right? But if a person was and that was likely done by the actor without even thinking about it, and they didn't grab a close-up of it. But if AI is going to do that, that's going to have to be programmed in, so there will be no happy accidents like that.
Yeah, I guess. It's just a lot of people think that technology can overcome human nature.
I guess with the disposability of what most of Hollywood is now, then this probably works. And Tyler Perry makes a lot of disposable entertainment. He's not known, he doesn't make big blockbuster epics. He makes his Tyler Perry movies, the Medea movies, all of those things. That's
is he talking about movies that he stars in, or is
that he's producing and directing?
Yeah. So that's different.
Yeah, he says, how would you like the entertainment industry as a whole to confront this rapidly developing technology? I absolutely think it has to be all hands on deck. Again, this is the most corporate answer. He's saying stuff without
approach.
He's saying something without actually saying anything.
It said it can't be one union fighting every contract every 2 to 3 years. I think that it has to be everybody all involved in how do we protect the future of our industry, because it's changing rapidly right before our eyes. I think all of the construction workers and contractors who are not going to be employed because I'm not doing this next phase of the studio because there's no need to do it. I think he's getting a little bit ahead of himself.
I mean, but those are the sad thing is those are the people that are going to have to worry, the below the line workers. It's going to be your set designer, or not even your set designer, because they can work with the AI.
He's like, my heart really goes out to them, but I'm not going to give them a job.
Exactly. Like, but that's like when it comes down to it, Hollywood is a bunch of hypocrites. They can talk all they want about workers' rights, all they want about power to the people, but money comes first always.
We love our below the line workers.
Yeah. Okay, actually, I did see a post the other day where Alan Richson gave this, like, I was like looking at his Instagram because like he's so into like his Insta church. It's awesome, like how into it he is.
His Insta church?
Yeah, like that's his YouTube channel.
Oh, that's his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he had this great post about like one of the cinematographer, one of the cameramen on Reacher, and he wrote this. It was like this long about the essence of camera work and how difficult it is and how hard of a job it is. And like that's an actor who actually appreciates the people who do that. And there's just something really, really likable about being able to do that. And it didn't come off in this pretentious way that it does most of the time when Hollywood actors try to pander, right? But a lot of that is going to be lost. Sure, the set designer, the person whose job it is to make a set look a certain way, will have a job because he'll be able to work with AI, with the person modeling the AI to come up with the prompts they might need or changes that might need. But the person who actually builds the set, the construction worker,
yeah, they're SOL.
Yeah, they're out of luck.
I mean, all of these celebrities have at least one story about them being rude to waitstaff. And in this day and age, people use like whether you are polite to waitstaff as a gauge for how good of a person you are. How do you think that they're going to, like, how high regard do you think they hold construction workers or cameramen or editors or makeup artists?
They'll always, the funny thing is they'll always need editors. Editor really is the last director on a film. He's the last storyteller. So you will always need editors
until you can get AI to do it.
No, I think that's the one where I think they're actually too picky about their ideology and the message that they'll need humans to do it. I don't think they'll ever trust.
What about
AI
script writing though?
They'll use it. They'll use it to at least bolster the work, to add to it and stuff like that.
I think they're so fresh out of ideas they need AI to at least give them the first idea. They're not out of ideas
though. They just won't get they know that the good ideas, the new ideas, the fresh ideas won't get greenlit, so why bother?
That's okay, good point.
There's a $20 one here from Gordon Shumway, says, the super chat I sent last week saying one day there will be a strike and the industry will say we're good is becoming more of a reality. A theater degree will be just as insufferable, will be just an insurmountable debt in the future of
learn to code.
Learn to code. Yeah, and I mean that is. I love the meme that says like me smiling as I hit no tip and turning the screen back around to a Starbucks worker who used their $50,000 liberal arts degree to make me a coffee.
Well, you say learn to code, but what about when AI learns to code?
Yeah, then you're just out of luck.
I don't know enough about that to say that AI isn't capable of learning to do it. Yep. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I just I see this but the thing is, like, I think of like Taylor Sheridan, who, like, when he talks about filmmaking, when I was listening to his Joe Rogan interview, he has such a deep love for like the learning process when he's writing something. So when he's talking about all his projects, he talks about how deep in depth he goes when he's researching them, so that he knows everything that he wants to say in this, which I love more, because knowing that he does that much research, but also writes in a way that allows people to draw their own conclusions is so rare in that industry now. I don't think you ever actually get rid of a person with that much work ethic, right? To be able to craft stories that way. But so many other departments are going to be put by the wayside because this technology is rapidly expanding so fast. But I don't think the actors feel it, other than the background actors for a while. But certainly, like, it's helicopter shots, gone.
I think DEI is killing Hollywood faster than AI.
Yeah,
it'll
be a race to the bottom from both of them. But the companies that, like, there's a whole industry based around stock footage, right? The people who sell. One of my favorite ones is pointing out, like, there's this amazing shot that I've seen in like 7 different series. It's a helicopter shot goes over like a synagogue in LA, and I've seen it in like 7 shows. And one day I'm gonna take a screenshot of each of them, because it's the same shot.
Yeah.
They're getting it from the same company.
Right.
It's very clear. That whole industry will go by the wayside.
I guess so.
It'll be decimated. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.